welcome to the what we got this the we call it the Sweet 16 reaction. I guess the Gonzaga UCLA reaction. I don't know what the heck you call it here. Brought to you on VSN. I am Darren Breyer. I got Tyler McGurk here from me, Fat Boy Fadeaway. I got my brother Casey Breyer, who's been with me the last couple episodes here, breaking down the Sweet 16 coverage. Casey, we're not here to break down what ifs anymore. We got to see what happened. Man, let's start right with the UCLA Gonzaga game. West Coast here. It's 9:36 out here. I can't even imagine being on the East Coast watching this thing at 12:30. What are your initial thoughts of the game? How good was that Gonzaga UCLA game?
Everything I thought it'd be.
Yep.
Me and Pico talked about it, man. It's going to be the game of the week, man. God, it lived up to the hype.
It did.
It was amazing, man. Just the hype, man. You got Jaquez doing his thing. You got Timme just balling out of his mind, looking like little kids out there. Oh, my God. You can tell a 23-year-old man playing against 18-year-olds. It was just wild, man. And then come down to the end, kind of tuned it. Like, I was like, here we go. It's just going to roll off to the, latter stages, free throws. They kept missing and missing. I was like, all right, Gonzaga, are you really just blow this away? And then UCLA with the half-court shot at the end. I'm like, here we go again. No.
What did you think of that play call at the end? Like, that looked like a set play where he just hands it off to him and chucks it up. At first, I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it's like when you swing on a 3-0 pitch in baseball. No, yeah. That's what I thought. Tyler, what did you think of that crazy shot?
It was a great play
it was a good shot, but it just didn't seem like
good play by the big guy to have the awareness to give it to the guy who actually knows how to shoot the ball. Like, he didn't just turn around and huck something up. Just a spectacular end of the game. I even tweeted, man, Gonzaga's a bunch of chokers. I thought it was Adam Morrison 2.0. Timme just dominated when he got the ball, but it just didn't seem like it was going to be enough. Missed 2 clutch free throws. But Strother bailed them out with a Chris Jenkins type 3-pointer to put the game away.
Casey, the free throw shooting. I mean, my goodness, that literally kept him in the game. They didn't really have that natural point guard to dribble the ball at. It felt like either.
Oh, it was atrocious. But that's the thing that I heard Jeff Van Gundy speaking about earlier. Like, hey, college needs to go. I think it was on the Warriors podcast, or not? Excuse me, the Warriors game. Yeah, and he was talking about, hey, the college needs to adapt. Taking 2 free throws every single time once they get into the bonus. I love the 1-and-1. The 1-and-1 college should keep that for life, because that is one of the most if they make it, it is so much.
It adds some pressure.
So much pressure, dude. It is so much pressure. It's like making the game-winning shot. If you got 1-and-1 and you're up by 3, you're up by 2. It goes wild, and it's like, oh shit, here we go. It's and that's exactly what happened tonight. It's you had a 1-and-1, missed them both, and they come down. That's an epic college game. That is what you want to see.
I thought UCLA was dead. They went on a 10-1 run in 41 seconds. Tyler, they couldn't make a shot. I said it. They make a shot for 9.5 minutes. They only made a free. They were putting it. They could put it in the damn ocean for almost a half of a half. They could put it in the ocean, and they.
UCLA.
You think it's just funny how human nature, desperation takes over. Jaquez, they dig deep, and then they take the lead, 76-75. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is Gonzaga gonna blow this? I mean, just what a swing of emotions there in the last minute of the game. Crazy.
Yeah, Jaime. The UCLA struggled. They were up 13 going in at the end of the first half, and then they just couldn't score the beginning of the second half.
Yeah.
And then Gonzaga, back to the 1-and-1 thing. The 1-and-1 is a great equalizer in college basketball. It keeps teams that are losing in games. You can start fouling with 5 minutes left. If a team can't hit free throws, you can get back in the game. You adopt the 2 free throw rule. It just changes all day. I'm with you guys. Keep the 1-and-1, but just a great game. The execution down the stretch left something to be desired. There was a lot of bad play, but it made the game. It's a college game. This is what college basketball is now. You're not getting the cream of the crop. You just get these guys who are just learning how to play basketball, and you can tell.
Does it add a little bit extra for us because it's the West Coast here?
I mean, absolutely for me, it does, because I was just I had a vested interest, because last time we talked to Nico on the podcast, I'm like, I really wish I would have done a parlay, but 4-0 the last time I talked.
You would have won it there.
Oh man, God, I would have scraped on that paper. But my God, I was just like,
You would have been on fire with that. Hey, Case, let me cut you off just for a second here. I got Chris coming on here, propeller head, as you know, I'm on the VSN. Let me bring him on here. What's going on, man? Nice to meet you here. I'm Daren. I got Tyler up here and my brother Casey. How you doing? Glad you could join us here post game after a crazy UCLA Gonzaga game.
Oh man, I'm just telling you, I was in another chat telling people when UCLA got the ball with 12 seconds left, I'm fouling immediately and putting them at the free throw line so I don't give up a 3-pointer at the end of the game.
That probably would have been a good idea. What do you think of that UCLA? We were kind of getting. I was starting to get to that point of it. What do you think of that UCLA Gonzaga matchup? Like, obviously, I know you're Vanderbilt. You got the SEC there. Like, what are your far for us? It's a big deal. It's like a big West Coast game. Probably the two best teams out here in the West Coast. What's your thoughts on it?
I'm questioning the UCLA coach. That's malpractice to have been down in that spot to begin with. They had that game won and totally under control and let it get away.
Yeah, in the first half, they just controlled the play. They looked like a better team. The only guy who could do anything was Timme. And back to the West Coast part, they're the only teams that matter in the West Coast. And every time they play in the NCAA tournament, it turns into a big event that must be talked about like we are right now, directly after the game.
I thought Gonzaga was going to have that 2006 setback. That's what it reminded me of. Here in Oakland, California, near that. That's what I thought. Casey, how good is Timme time? I mean, let's just go, like, I mean, yeah, I just felt like he just controls the pace of the game. Like he gets, the other guys were important, but he just keeps them so steady there.
oh man, it's that like it's the 5-year, fourth year seeing that he got, man. It's like you can't teach that. Like I was speaking about earlier, it's like you can just tell. I mean, when you're playing against like 18-year-olds and when you're 22, it's a big difference, man. I'm sorry, it's a big difference, man. Like when you've seen it, and plus he's been there, he's been in the big time tournament games, but just the like, hey, give me the rock. Hey, I don't even care what y'all do. Just give me the ball. You can run off ball screens and I'll find you. Like, it's not that complicated. It's like, just give me the ball and I'll set y'all up.
That's pretty much what happens.
Basketball is a pretty easy game if you make it easy.
Yeah, and the Gonzaga, to their credit, they're always one of the offensive teams, Tyler, in that regard. Chris, what do you think about Timme there? What do you think I had, like, just kind of watching him play?
Man, I've been watching him for so long. I feel like it's been 10 years watching him play. But I thought UCLA did the perfect job in the first half. Drew Timme's going to get his, so I'm going to play 5-on-4.
Yeah.
And just let Timme do what he's going to do, because you're not going to outscore me with the other four playing against 5 guys. And they went away from that in the second half. I don't understand why they changed what they were doing.
Yeah, I gotta say, shout out to my mama. She said she heard it. She said Drew Timme is like LeBron when he's like, LeBron, I want my son to play with me in NBA. Drew Timme, like, I want my kid to play with me in college. Like, how long is he gonna be there?
He's gonna be there. Does he have one more year of eligibility? I don't even know if he does have one more year. All right, hey, let's keep it moving here on the show here. That was good. UCLA Gonzaga, like you said, just one of the, again, just a great Sweet 16 game. Another good game between these two teams. Obviously, we had the Suggs half court shot last time. We mentioned the Morrison one. They've had a few battles there. I hope they meet every time in the NCAA tournament this time. All right, let's go to the other game here that made some headlines, and that is the Michigan State-Kansas State game. I thought this one could be sneaky good a little bit. Nowell kind of, for me, I guess, jumped on the scene a little bit. Just some of his play. He was fantastic today. 19. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. He just controlled the pace. Tyler, what did you think of this game between Michigan and Kansas State? I mean, 19 assists. I mean, even to Michigan State credit, they fought back. I thought they really showed some heart there at the end, totally like a Tom Izzo team. Casey, I told you they would. I thought they were going to sneak it out. I had them in the Final Four. What did you think of Kansas State, though, overall, getting the win in this game?
To start off with Michigan State, if you told me they were going to score 93 points, I'd be like, oh, they won easy. They scored 93 points. This is a Michigan State Big Ten basketball. It just doesn't score like that, and they put up 93. But back to Marquise Nowell, just special. One of the best point guard game played I've seen in college basketball in a long time. take it for what it is. I've watched a lot of Kirk Kriesa bricks being thrown up at Arizona the last 2 years. So, my point guard play I've watched hasn't been superb, but this was unbelievable. He sprains his ankle early in the second half, and it doesn't slow him down at all. 19 assists in a college game, 5 steals. It's almost beyond words. Like, you don't see those numbers in college.
What do you think there, Chris?
So I heard an interesting stat with Nowell tonight. He's only the third player in NCAA history to have 30 points scored and 30 assists before the Sweet 16 is over. One of the other ones is Jason Kidd when he was at Cal. At this point, he's got 63 points and 41 assists. That's just magic. Point guard play is going to win you a national championship, and right now I don't see another point guard playing as good as what he is.
Yeah,
As long as his
Go ahead, T.
ankle doesn't swell up like very bad the next game, I don't see how you beat this kid.
Casey, I immediately thought of the old Isaiah Thomas. I wasn't even alive for that, but I was very young. But when he was out there, he's hobbling around. I was like, he's not going to be able to play. Like, and at Michigan State credit, at first they kind of took advantage of him a little bit, but then overall it looked like it loosened up a little bit, and he was able to kind of play. And I don't know, like he's starting to feel himself. He's on a special run right now.
Yep.
I mean, come on now, fellas. We gonna mention the alley-oop at the end. Hey,
That was nice too.
I'm cool. Like, y'all gonna say like that's a play call? I'm sorry, that was not.
That was not a play call.
Like, no chance in hell. That's me saying, Coach, I got this. I've been running the table the whole game. Me and you, Watson, like me and you boys, we were picked last in the Big 12. Yeah, we about to do this thing right now. And then just to do his thing, man, it's wild too, because like it went, and it's funny, and I you know me, Darren. I'm a nerd when it comes to NBA hoops, but CJ Watson, he passed him an all-time assist leader when it comes to like NCAA tournament like assist totality. I'm like, CJ Watson? And then I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize him and Baron Davis were the first 2 freshman guards to actually play in the NCAA.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Which is wild. Like, I was like, okay, Nowell, you do your thing, boy. Like, all right, I got you.
And he's competitive for fight. Like Tyler, like even defensively, I thought he holds his own a little bit.
He definitely gets those steals. I think you got to shout out Keontae Johnson and his story coming from Florida, collapsing, and Florida saying, we're not even going to let you play for us. And Kansas State saying, we'll give you a minutes limit, we'll bring you in. And he became a star player and is in the Elite Eight on one of the favorites, probably win it all at this point.
I have it here. I thought AJ Hogarth played well for Michigan State as well. I thought he had some big shots. He was aggressive. He took advantage of some drives there late. And K-State hung on, man. They showed some real toughness. They get like, let's keep it moving here. Now they get a matchup against a team I didn't think they were going to get, and that's FAU against Tennessee. I thought Tennessee, Casey, we talked about their defense, and I mentioned it though on the preview of this matchup was I was a little bit concerned about Tennessee's offense at times. Like, not that they're Virginia-esque, but like I'm just worried about their pace at times, and like in a 1-game elimination, like sometimes that pace can worry me when you're the favorite like that. And I thought FAU was able to like keep the speed up. They were able to kind of put some pressure on the ball, and Tennessee just couldn't make enough shots. They really just struggled offensively this whole game.
Yeah, that's what I told you, and I spoke about that with Nico. I just said I think FAU's guard play is just too much. Tennessee has a great defense, don't get me wrong, but Davis came up clutch, man. I mean, that's what you do. I mean, when you're a player that's been there a little bit, not saying it's NCAA tournament, but you've played and like I said, they won 1 game, 5 games, and 8 games. Now they made the tournament. Like, they got a lot to prove right now, and you could tell that they're playing with a lot of passion. And Tennessee, you could almost see like the heart getting taken out of them. And I was like, I almost felt bad for him. It was just like the life was getting sucked out of him. And the big man from Serbia, man, that dude, man, he'd be throwing bows left and right. He should be fighting. He should be playing for the
UFC. I like when he comes down with the rebound. It's always a forward motion. He's very intentional about that. What do you think about, Chris? You've seen the SEC got Vanderbilt there. What do you think about Tennessee falling to FAU today?
Comes as no surprise. I've watched Tennessee all year long.
Yeah.
Have trouble having that go-to guy to go get you a bucket when you need one. It's been a problem for them all year. Bigger issue for me is Conference USA. Okay, you got one team in the Elite Eight. You got two teams in the NIT Final Four, one of which beat FAU during the season. I mean,
yeah,
the net is broken if those teams aren't good enough to be in the tournament.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a good one.
It seems like Conference USA is like falling on like these hard times, but now the way they played this year is like they've lost.
Is that because
like
they lost the
Louisville?
big schools?
Yeah, they've lost like Louisville to the ACC, and they've lost other teams.
Is Cincinnati still?
No, they're not in the. They're in the big. No, I don't know where Cincinnati went.
I
think Cincinnati's still in the Conference USA because I think they're going to Las Vegas too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. They are.
I agree with you, Chris, because like the CUSA, like they're like they play a different style of basketball. Like it is high tempo, and they're gonna play 80 to 90 possessions, like if they can, and it like the SEC that like. The schools are ready for that. Like, they're, hey, 1, 2, hey, pound to the rock, like Drew Timme style, but it's a different brand of basketball. It's very different.
And something else with the Conference USA is they're getting everybody else's leftovers that aren't wanted by other teams that are transferring because they're not getting playing time. These are actually good ball players down there.
Yep. Cincinnati's not in Conference USA, by the way. But this FAU team, I love the number one guy, John L. I can't think of it. He's number one.
John L. Davis.
Get to the hoop. Yeah, John L. Davis. Tennessee was missing Zeigler. He can actually shoot the ball. They don't have, like you said, a bucket getter. They play good defense, but like they just depended on like just garbage basketball, really. And if anyone has seen my Twitter in the last year, I've never had more hate from a fan base than Tennessee. So I enjoy watching them lose every year. So good job, Tennessee. Keep up the good work.
So Tyler's not the person here to be helping you in that. All right, so we got Tennessee. Let's go to our last game here. Then I got a few questions for you guys. We'll wrap it up here on Sweet 16, first show here on VSN Network. Go follow us. We got Chris here. We got Casey here, Tyler. We're here. We got last game here. We got UConn versus Arkansas, the blowout of the day here. Chris, I'll start with you with it. Obviously Arkansas being an SEC school there. They have some good players, obviously. Musselman's obviously been working out, been a good job there doing the sit-ups. They're feeling confident enough to take the shirt off. But today they got a real matchup, and I feel like UConn they were too big for them. They executed, and they just didn't. I don't know, maybe just bad game, but they didn't look like they were in their league today.
You know what happens when you play 20, 21-year-old kids against 18-year-olds? That's a perfect example of what happens.
Yeah.
The senior leadership and experience dominated that game. So, and you could see it coming. Arkansas's, they'd go through stretches where they'd play really, really good basketball, and then they'd lay some eggs that had you scratching your head.
Yeah. UConn outscored them 42-24, to your point, in the lane. They out-rebounded them by 12. Tyler, we know if usually that happens in the NCAA tournament, that's a recipe for no good, especially against a UConn team.
Yeah, I going forward, just looking at the NBA, I do not want any of these Arkansas freshmen who are lottery picks.
Not even Black?
No, the guy, he reminds me of Ben Simmons. He can't shoot. He's tall, and he sees over people, so he has that advantage in college. But wait till the NBA, he's going to get manhandled.
I read an article.
I was impressed with
Penny.
I don't see it at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not that athletic. I didn't see anything special from him.
And something with Anthony Black is he's a clown too. He'll get out there and he'll show up and he'll do something stupid to ignite the other team. He committed a foul against Vanderbilt. The fans got on to him. So he did this little crying motion with his hands. We put 63 on him in a half.
Wow.
In a direct response to what he was doing, we put 63 on him in a half.
Well, this sounds personal now. I like this now. I like that. Casey, what did you think of UConn? We talked about them maybe making a run like Michigan State. They end up surviving, unlike Michigan State. And our good buddy Nick put $50 on them the other day to win 500. So he's got to be feeling good after that win.
So you know me, I'm a different cat, but WrestleMania coming up on April 1st and 2nd.
I did not know that.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
I felt like they just suplex City the shit out of them.
They did.
We're just like we done. Like the first half is over. Brock Lesnar came in the house and like I go home. Like we don't need to wrestle. You don't need to show up. Like it's good, man. Like championship belts won. Like Arkansas, you can get the hell out the building.
They were done.
Like we done. Like that's how I felt. Like I watched the first half and I was like, man, I'm just gonna make a bagel and cream cheese. Like I'm just gonna chill out. like I'm good, man. I'm kosher, man. Like I'm straight. Like this game's a waste of my time. I don't know. Like this is how I felt. I don't know.
It wasn't one of their best games.
I was surprised with how Arkansas performed in this tournament in general. I thought they were going to be one and done with the way they ended the season. Musselman seemed checked out, and then somehow they beat Kansas, and it was like, oh, maybe these guys. But in that game, their 2 lottery picks only scored 4 total points. Just a little like why I don't like them at all going forward. But and then then this seemed like they quit as well. I don't know. I wasn't impressed with Arkansas all year. Except for in the Maui Invitational, they played pretty good, but that was.
Well, let's do a little, just a quick little one. I think our players of the day here were brought to you by Row One Brand. Use the code VSP15. We'll get 15% off anything in the art gallery. We got like a player of the day. I think we can agree on is it Nowell or is it Timme? Is it somebody else or is it Strawwater with the shot at the end? Is there somebody here that I'm missing? That's there's 2 good performances out there. If you can't give it to both, who do you take it, Tyler?
I'm giving it to Nowell. We brought up the guy. Chris brought up the guys that he's in the same league as Jason Kidd, and who is the other guy?
I think that's pretty.
He's just having an unbelievable tournament.
Every time he brings up Jason Kidd, I can bring up my little logo here in the right corner. That gives me an excuse to bring it up.
There you go. I didn't catch. In all fairness, I didn't catch the other guy's name. I just heard that it was only the 3rd player in history to do it. At this point, for me, I've gotten down as a MOP of the tournament.
Yeah. And he's been the most exciting guy. Like kind of has that Kemba Walker feel, Casey, right? Like, just that kind of vibe. Not the same. Kemba scored a lot more, kind of juked you with the step backs and that kind of thing. But he does have that kind of feel. He did get bailed out a little bit with 2 bad shots at the end of both the end of the game and overtime. Chucked it up for the Steven Jackson-esque. That's what I was thinking.
Dude, I love him. I love him. He's the same height as me. I'm like 5'8".
I know.
Like man, I look at him. I'm just like, man, you balling like, just like doing your thing, man. It's wild to see, and he's doing it against like 6'8", 6'9", and it's just, man, his vision is off the charts. Like that pass, the wraparound pass. Like I know, we basketball heads, but if you watch the game, man, there's a couple passes, but he's seen the play before it happens. And when you there's a different level to playing basketball. And when you played the game that much, you've seen the game before the game's been played. That was special.
Okay, Tyler said, who do I compare him to? Chris. I said I don't know if this is good. I just said Jameer Nelson was the first guy that kind of stood out to me when I saw him. Maybe Jameer probably wasn't as good a passer, but that was the first guy that made me think of it.
I would say Jamal Tinsley.
That's not a bad comp. That's a good comp right there.
Damon Stoudemire.
Yeah,
that's a good one right there. Yeah,
Tyler
there. Tyler got excited there. Got the Arizona. Shout out.
My ears perk up.
Tyler, Chris, you're welcome here anytime now. After that,
got a fan.
Chris, it's been fun to have you on here for a short. I know it's just kind of been a short time here, but we're going to do this the next 3 days here, just after the games, 10 minutes. So hopefully you can join us with that. Before we call it a show here, I wanted to kind of just real quick. Let's get into the games real quick of what will happen after today. So, like after today's matchup, we'll have K-State versus Florida Atlantic. We'll have UConn versus Gonzaga. Maybe just real quick, fellas, you could give me your picks on that one. Casey, who do you like in those 2 games?
You already know where I'm going with that, Daren. Florida Atlantic. Gonzaga. You know, FAU, man, dude, their guard game is so strong.
You
Man.
did make a good little Final Four. I'll give you that, man. I'll give you that.
They got 4 strong guards with Forrester and Davis, and man, they can ball, man. They got a nice 7'1", old school white center.
Tyler, how does he do it? He picks the team out of his ass every year. He picked the Browns that one year. What the hell is going on around here? He picks it. Who do you got, Chris, in those matchups there? UConn, Gonzaga, Florida Atlantic, Kansas State there.
Full disclosure, when I filled out my bracket, the brackets came out that Sunday night. It took me 10 minutes to fill out my bracket. I had Kansas State in the Final Four playing Alabama. I'm riding with it. Purple power.
All right.
And on the other side, if UConn shows up and plays on Saturday the way they played today, I don't think Gonzaga's got a chance.
Tyler, that UConn that game is going to be pretty interesting with the bigs UConn can throw at Timme time. But we'll see. Gonzaga has a way. Their offense it's elite for a reason. And they have, to me, maybe one of the top 3 coaches, I would say, in the league, in the NCAA. So I don't know. That's how I feel about him or a few there. So what do you think about those matchups there?
I got K-State. I think Nowell, as long as he's healthy, which is a big if at this point, because when you sit out him,
he's super
24 hours, who knows what's going to happen to that ankle? I got Kansas State, and then for the UConn Gonzaga game, I just hate Gonzaga. I'll never root for Gonzaga. I'll take UConn to go to to the Final Four.
I think that's you're taking the Huskies. How can you hate Gonzaga more than the Huskies? That's unbelievable to me.
There's nobody on Gonzaga I've ever liked in the whole history of Gonzaga.
It all comes back to Khalid El
Adam Morrison.
It all comes back to Khalid.
They're all garbage NBA players. I lose interest in them.
I think it comes back to jealousy because Arizona lost in the first round.
We beat Gonzaga every time we play them in the tournament.
That's good. Well, Chris, you got to join us on the Fat Boy Fadeaway one of these Sundays there. What show can we catch you guys on there?
I've got the Golden Broom. We go on Tuesday nights, generally at 8:30 p.m. Sometimes it's 7:30 p.m. Depends on my co-host. He's got a little girl that plays softball, and depends on her schedule.
That makes sense.
But we have a good time doing it.
I have seen a couple of you guys' shows there with it. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us today on the show. And hope we can do it again soon.
Tyler,
anytime. Casey, till then, peace.
Peace.